Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking a really critical operational challenge. And honestly, it's one that catches way too many businesses completely off guard. We're talking about why your leave systems absolutely require integration with your payroll. If your HR team is, still relying on manual payroll reconciliation at the end of every single month, well, you aren't just creating extra work for yourself, you're actually sitting on a massive, ticking operational risk.
Let's start with a quick scenario just to put things into perspective. Imagine an employee resigns on a Friday. Are you ready for that? I mean, it sounds simple enough, right? It happens all the time. But the reality is, the very second that resignation is formally submitted, a critical, high-stakes legal countdown officially begins for your company. And what exactly is that countdown? It's 2 days. Yep. Under current labor codes, a company has exactly 2 days to provide a full and final settlement to that exiting employee. And yes, that calculation absolutely must legally include all in-cash leave. You have just 48 hours to get every single number perfectly accurate and processed. Think about your current workflows for a second. Can you realistically turn that whole shebang around in 2 days?
Meeting a tight legal timeline like that, it's practically impossible if your HR team is, say, keeping employee leave data isolated over in one spreadsheet and then running payroll in an entirely separate software system. You simply can't move fast enough. What you actually need, if you're going to survive these strict regulations, is a single, connected workflow where everything is operating in perfect harmony.
Section 1. Where disconnected systems break.
You see, most payroll and leave management failures usually trace back to one single root cause. It's data existing in one place and then being manually copied into another. This manual bridging, it leads to a massive cascade of breakdowns. We're talking about attendance and leave mismatches, right? Where an approved leave somehow gets marked as an absence, which triggers an incorrect loss of pay deduction that somebody then has to painstakingly track down and reverse. We also see encashment miscalculations, because when payroll isn't tracking those accumulated balances in real time, mandatory payout obligations go completely unnoticed. Well, until an audit flags them, of course. And then you get massive settlement delays and intense conflicts across different state policies for multi-location teams. A static spreadsheet just cannot automatically apply the right rules everywhere. Honestly, it's a sheer nightmare for any HR professional who's just trying to make sure everyone gets paid correctly.
I mean, we've all seen this happen, right? A leave gets approved on the 28th, so really late in the month. And because the systems aren't synced up, it completely misses the salary run. So, what's the result? The employee gets short paid, they are rightfully frustrated about it, and HR has to go in and manually correct it the following month. It's just a terrible experience for everyone involved and a total waste of valuable administrative time.
Section 2. The new compliance reality.
So we really need to escalate the conversation here, because these administrative errors we've been talking about, they are no longer just annoyances or internal HR headaches. They've actually evolved into serious legal risks. Under the Occupational Safety, Health, and Working Conditions Code, the regulatory reasons for integration have gotten much, much stronger. For instance, earned leave eligibility has been aggressively lowered from 240 days down to just 180 days of work in a calendar year. Accrual is now officially set at 1 day per 20 days worked. On top of that, the carry-forward cap is strictly limited to 30 days. And here's the real kicker. Encashing anything beyond that 30-day cap is now mandatory. It's not discretionary anymore.
The absolute crucial point to take away here is that leave tracking and attendance management, they are no longer just administrative housekeeping. They are actual legal inputs. A process that was built around manual, month-end reconciliation was simply never designed to move fast enough for these strict new legal realities. You have to get this right, on a highly compressed timeline, for every single employee who qualifies as a worker under the new code.
Section 3. What true integration delivers. Okay, so let's talk about the solution to those painful bottlenecks and massive compliance risks. We really need to clearly define what this actually means in practice. True integration is a form of payroll automation where leave approvals, attendance records, and salary calculations all pull from a single source of data. It's not 3 separate records trying awkwardly to talk to each other. When a manager approves earned leave, that specific entry should instantly update the employee's leave balance and then flow directly into the very next payroll run without a single person ever having to re-enter the data.
And you know what? We really need to shatter a common misconception right here. Exporting a leave report once a month and then importing it into your payroll software. Guys, that is false integration. That's merely a manual bridge between 2 isolated tools that just happen to be sitting next to each other. True integration requires a real-time, single data source that acts as the sole brain of your entire operation.
And the immediate relief that this level of automation brings is literally immense. It instantly closes the gap between an HR event occurring and the payroll actually reflecting it. But best of all, it entirely eliminates that incredibly stressful end-of-month scramble, where HR is desperately chasing down managers for approvals across endless email threats. It also fast-tracks your audit readiness, simply because every single figure traces back to one unified source. But honestly, perhaps most importantly, it builds incredible employee trust. Why? Because their payslips finally and perfectly match their leave balances.
Section 4. Building a seamless system. So if you're listening to this and realizing, okay, it's definitely time to upgrade and adopt an integrated setup, well, there are some critical features you absolutely must demand from your technology providers. First, you need real-time sync. You've got to say goodbye to those monthly batch uploads for good. Your system should also feature configurable, state-aware rules that automatically apply the correct eligibility, carry forward, and encashment parameters based on exactly where that specific employee is located. Beyond that, having a unified loss of pay attendance source is totally non-negotiable. If two different systems are calculating LOP independently, well, that is exactly where your payroll discrepancies are going to begin. You'll also want ironclad audit trails for every single change, so inspectors can easily see who approved what and exactly when they did it. And finally, robust self-service visibility is key. When employees can actually check their own balances against their payslips, post-payroll disputes drop sharply. Just as an example, let's look at how modern compliance-focused systems are handling this today. Platforms like PaySquare, they manage this by integrating leave and attendance management directly right into their payroll processing. This makes sure that every single leave entry reaches the payslip it belongs on instantly, accurately, and without a single manual step in between that could potentially corrupt the data.
Which leaves us with a final kind of provocative question to wrap up this explainer. Is your leave system actually integrated, or is it just a really organized spreadsheet? Take a hard, honest look at your current tech stack. If you're still relying on manual reconciliation, you're carrying unnecessary risk and you're moving way too slowly for today's labor codes. It might just be time to completely rethink how your data flows. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you build a much more robust, compliant workflow.